All right. For this problem, this is going to be a go zone problem. We're going to do the go zone, we're going to do the stop zone, and then we're going to fix the intersection so there's a 20% overlap zone. I ripped out this chunk here so I can move it around. Here's our intersection we're going to deal with. Okay. The first thing I want you to do on every one of these problems is label each one of your variables. This 3 seconds is yellow light time, so I'm going to write t of y next to it. The next one is the width of the intersection, that's a w. Speed limit, speed is your velocity. Okay. The average response time is t of r. And then 4 meters per second squared deceleration rate is your acceleration or deceleration. Okay. So now that I have all of these labeled, I can very easily plug them in. So I'm going to do the go zone first. To find out the size of the go zone, the length of it, I'm going to do d equals, I look up here, what's my v? It's 25. I plug it in there for that v. Times ty, which is 3 seconds. Make sure you pick the right t. Minus my width, which is 20. Okay. On my calculator, I'm going to do 25 times 3. I'm going to hit enter. I get 75. And then I will minus out the 20. Minus 20, and I get 55. So my go zone is 55. Now it's a length. So because it's a length, I look up here and find my length units, and it's got to be meters. Okay. There's my go zone. Okay. If I'm grading this, I'm giving you 1 point for having it all written in, plugged in right, a second point for the right answer, and a third point for your label. Let's do the stop zone. The stop zone is d equals v, so I'm going to pull down my sheet here. V, so v is still 25, times t of r, which is 0.75, plus v squared, 25 squared, over 2 times a. So 2 times my a value is 4. Okay, I like to think of this as 2 different problems. Okay, this is 2 different problems. Here's problem 1, and then here's problem 2, and then we're going to add them at the end. So in my calculator, I'm going to do 25 times 0.75, and over here I get 18.75 plus, and now over here we have to do your exponent first. So we have to do the 25 squared first. And that gives me 625 over, or divided by, 2 times 4, which is 8. Again, before we add these 2 problems up, I need to do the division here. I need to do 625 divided by 8. And I hit enter on my calculator, and I get 78.125. Now, if I get a decimal that ends, don't round it. Put the whole thing down. We're going to add these 2 up. And I get a stop zone, so my stop zone equals 96. Now if you look at the calculator, it's 96.875. I look at the 5, that tells me I'm going to round the 7 to an 8, so it's 96.88. And that would be meters, because it's a length again. Okay, so is this safe? Well, our go zone was, let's look up here, we had 55. Our stop zone is 96.88. So it looks like there's a big gap here. So the go zone only went back, let's say, this far, and then the stop zone started up here. Well, I have a big gap right here. I have the you're screwed zone. You can't stop, you can't go. This is not a safe intersection because there's not an overlap. Okay, so let's fix it. Final question, how do we fix it? If we go to page 2 in your packet, it tells you how to fix it. Let's see. Oops, right here. Okay, make an overlap zone, stop zone divided by 0.8, and then use that answer and solve for go zone. So tomorrow on your test, make sure you're using this to help you. Okay, I'm going to do step 1, stop zone divided by 0.8. My stop zone is 96.88. 96.88 divided by 0.8. And I should get a number bigger than 96.88. divided by 0.8, and I get 121.1. That would be the size of my new go zone. So now there's an overlap. So next it tells me to use that answer and solve go zone for t of y. So I go back to my go zone formula up here. Okay, d equals v times t of y minus w. But my new distance now is this, the 121, oops, sorry, is 121.1. So I do 121.1, I'm using the go zone formula, equals v times t of y minus w. So it'll be 121.1 equals our velocity. I'm going to pull this down so we have it. Our velocity is still 25. Our yellow light time we're going to leave blank because that's what we're fixing. Our width of our intersection is still 20. Okay, now we're just doing some algebra. Okay, we are going to add 20 to both sides first. You have to do addition and subtraction first. And I get 141.1 equals 25 times t of y. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 25. So I do 141.1 divided by 25, and I get a yellow light time t of y equals 5.644. So your answer on your test in this box will be 5.64 seconds, because yellow light time is a time.